The United States recorded its 12 millionth COVID-19 case on Saturday, even as millions of Americans were expected to travel for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. The COVID-19 epidemic has killed more than 255,000 people in the United States, and the recent escalation has prompted more than 20 states to impose sweeping new restrictions to curb the virus. More than 1 million people flew through U.S. airports on Friday, according to data from the Transportation Security Administration. That fueled fears of even greater spread of the virus. It was the second heaviest domestic air traffic day since the start of the pandemic, despite pleas from public health officials for Americans to stay home for the Thanksgiving holiday. Election officials in Wisconsin's largest county accused observers for President Donald Trump on Saturday of seeking to obstruct a recount of the presidential results, in some instances by objecting to every ballot that tabulators pulled to count. Trump requested the recount in Milwaukee and Dane counties, both heavily liberal, in hopes of undoing Democrat Joe Biden's victory by just over 20,000 votes. County Clerk George Christensen said a steady stream of Republican complaints in Milwaukee was putting the recount far behind schedule. Meanwhile, a group of Republican politicians and voters filed a lawsuit in state court in Pennsylvania, arguing that a 2019 law that cleared the way for expanded absentee voting was unconstitutional. An attorney at the Public Interest Law Center in Philadelphia, Benjamin Geffen, said the lawsuit, like dozens of others filed by the Trump campaign and its allies, would not get far in court. Leaders of the world's 20 biggest economies on Sunday will pledge to pay for a fair distribution of COVID-19 vaccines, drugs, and tests around the world so that poorer countries are not left out, and will extend debt relief to them. In a draft of a communique seen by the Reuters news agency, the leaders said they would spare no effort to ensure their affordable and equitable access of vaccines and therapeutics for all people, consistent with members' commitments to incentivize innovation. The communique called global immunization a public good. The leaders pledged to continue to use all available policy tools needed to safeguard lives, jobs, and incomes, and encourage the multilateral development banks to strengthen their efforts to help countries deal with the crisis. The summit of the world's richest countries is being hosted virtually by Saudi Arabia because of COVID-19 restrictions. The Islamic State's affiliate in Afghanistan is being blamed for a deadly morning mortar and rocket attack that killed at least 8 people and wounded several others in Kabul on Saturday. Reuters' Adam Reed reports.
The explosions set off warning sirens from embassies, and the attack comes just 2 days before a major conference for Afghanistan in Geneva. Afghanistan's Ministry of Interior said along with the dead, dozens more have been injured in the blast, with many requiring hospital treatment. Spokesman Tariq Arian said terrorists mounted 14 rockets in a small truck and set them off. He added that an investigation was ongoing to find out how the vehicle got inside the city. One of the rockets landed close to the Iranian embassy, but it later said in a statement that there were no casualties among its staff.
That's Reuters' Adam Reed. Several thousand people protested in Paris on Saturday against a bill that would make it a crime to circulate an image of a police officer's face with the intention that they should be harmed. Supporters say that officers and their families need protection from harassment, both online and in person when off duty. Opponents say the law would infringe on journalists' freedom to report and make it harder to hold police accountable for abuses such as excessive use of force. Pope Francis has urged young economists, entrepreneurs, and business leaders to promote post-pandemic development models that involve the poor. During the pandemic, Francis has decried that the people on the margins of society have been among those that suffered the most.